Anyway, anyway, I I remember getting off. I probably got off the bus. I don't remember getting off. I vaguely remember getting off. And I remember walking around the convention center and like looking in cars, walking around places, and I remember sleeping on the stairs at the convention center, and I'm like towards the bottom. Thank God I didn't go up top because I would probably, if I woke up and got scared, I could have died. Um, but I remember sleeping there for I don't know how long. I woke up and I remember walking. I'm not sure where. I remember. I remember it was probably the next day. I remember walking and I walked. I don't know where I was. I remember walking a corner, like going down a hill, and I started throwing rocks across the street. Even when cars were coming, I thought it was a gang because of my dreams I had. And in that dream, I was throwing rocks above cars, and I was fine. And I remember the cops coming and saying, "You're throwing rocks at cars," and I wasn't. I just was throwing it above them. But either way, that's still bad. I was not right in the head. Um, um, and the cops came. I remember. I don't know if I was delirious or it really happened. Anyway, cops came. They frisked me and they found out I was female because I was not that big of a bust at that time. Um, they waited for another cop to come, which is a female cop. She frisked me and they found nothing on me. And I remember drinking a bottle of before they found me. They probably found me, but they some people saw me, I guess, and saw how I was. I don't know if before that I was doing something weird. I think I was. I don't remember. I was walking around and stuff, calling and stuff. I don't remember really. I remember walking around screaming at a farmer's market. Nobody paid attention. They probably did. Um, that's probably why they didn't say anything. They probably thought I was crazy when I technically am now. And I remember screaming and walking here, walking there, saying, "Oh, you seen this person? Oh, have you seen this? Blah blah blah." And anyway, when I was walking down that hill, I was throwing rocks, and then the cops finally came. They arrested me, or wait, not arrested, but put me in custody. And I remember one cop, he was black. I remember, wait, yeah, there was a cop that was black, and he said, "What's this? What's this?" I'm like, "I don't want what." He dropped a small little nickel sack. You know, it was white stuff, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And then he said, "Oh, you got drugs." I'm like, "No, no, I don't." I don't know if I was just dreaming or it really happened. Anyway, um, he dropped the nickel sack and it looked like it was cocaine, maybe. It looked like whatever it looked like. It was white powder or whatever it was. And then I remember him sticking his finger in there and then licking it, putting it on his teeth. I'm like, "What the are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, this is drugs. These drugs. He got drugs. He got drugs." I'm like, I don't have drugs. I don't know what you're talking about." And then I remember, like I was telling my friend before, I remember standing and they said, "Don't stop resisting, stop resisting." I'm like, "What?" Because I was standing at the time. They just pushed me down to the ground, and I'm like, I wasn't resisting. But I remember my friend told me it was probably because I was going so slow that I couldn't tell that they were that I was probably not going fast enough. Probably because my brain wasn't acting right. Um. Anyway, they pushed me down to the floor wherever the hell that little cement wall thingy stilt thing, and they was talking and everything, and then they took me to a place called Alhambra Medical Center. No, Alhambra Mental Health, Alhambra Mental Psych Ward. It's not a psych ward, but like a psych. Was it a psych ward? No, it was like a little hospital. I was there for like 2 3 days. It felt like forever. Anyway, um, I still have my cell phone on me, and they called my mom and my brother, and my mom said she came to pick me up, but my brother picked me up instead. And I remember I was in there. I was not right. I don't remember most of the things I was doing in there. They had coffee every 5 minutes. They had smoke breaks every 5 minutes, that's why it felt so long in there. And I remember sleeping a lot, but not really. Let's see. I remember it was weird. I remember there was a guy in there, and I followed him for a little bit because I thought he was playing a game with me. I was running after him, and he was like freaking out. We were probably both freaking out. I felt bad. Anyway, my brother finally picked me up 2-3 days later. He was talking to me like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be doing that anymore. People are gonna, like, you should know better. Like, don't do that anymore, because I was throwing rocks at cars, and just, that's all I remember he was saying. And his girlfriend was in the car, and he goes, I'll just say, yeah, whatever. Just drop me off. Just drop me off anywhere. I'll get the bus back home. I don't care. Just leave me the fuck alone. I was just pissed off at him because he was telling me I shouldn't do that kind of stuff. But I knew I shouldn't have, but I did it anyway. I don't think I was in control. And I don't really recall being at home anymore. I don't even remember walking to the house. I don't even remember my brother taking me there. I know he drove me there, but I don't remember going inside. I don't remember getting to the condominium. I don't even remember it right now. But I do remember when I was back home, I started having symptoms again. And I remember writing on the walls, drawing on the walls in my room, writing stuff on the door in the bathroom walls, and I remember writing stuff on the inside when I walk inside. I remember like the hallway where the kitchen is and her room is. I remember writing on the walls, and then I remember breaking down. I remember ripping off the freaking blinds my mom put up. I wasn't even trying that hard. I just pulled it down by a blind, like, like those blinds, but bigger. I just remember pulling one down, and I took off the whole mechanism. I don't even know how I did that. I wasn't even trying that hard. I did that, and I remember throwing stuff, and I don't know if it was the same day. Probably was. Yeah, I think it was the same day. I know I didn't, wait, I'm not sure, but I remember being in my room. I remember throwing my bed out the window, throwing my pictures, my toys, everything I got from Anime Expo out the window. I was like, I thought I don't even know what I was thinking anymore. Anyway, I did all that. I don't know if it was the same day. But I remember my mom was like, what the hell is going on? Why did you do that? I don't even remember. I don't remember why I did it. I know I was not right in the head. Wait, I know I didn't know that. But no, that's a mom. But it's I don't even know why I did it. I think I did it because I thought I was going back in time, and I was gonna go back to high school. I don't know. I just don't remember. And I remember when I threw everything out at that time, I went through the window, I think, and went walking around the condominium and just went to lay down on one of the patches of grass. And I remember staring up at the sun and doing like this, like my eyes staring at the sun. And I don't know how long I was staring at the sun. I remember hearing sizzling, like my eyes were sizzling, and I remember hearing screams, and it was like I was killing the things that were in my eyes that I saw in the like vision. I remember, and I could it was probably just delusions. I remember staring at the sun, and I remember seeing Pikachu like from Pokemon, and that's about it. And remember seeing The Wanted there, and then like Fairly Odd Parents, Cosmo and Wanda, and I was like, and I couldn't see them anymore because I could see them clearly in my when I was throwing the stuff out the window, and when I did that, I couldn't see them anymore. They're like, "No, don't do that. We can't see you anymore. Why would you do this?" And and I remember my mom came when I was out the window, and she was like, and she was trying to tell me stuff, and I don't remember what. She was telling me to come home, come in the house, and I was just, I remember saying to her, "Oh, I'm going to my friend's house. His name, I don't want to say his name." I was like, "I'm going to so and so's house. I'm going to so and so's house." She's like, "No, you're not going there." And then I remember she was like, I don't think I was saying, "Why don't you pick me up? Why don't you pick me up?" I can't pick you up. Pick me up, pick me up. And I'm like, I don't know why. I knew she couldn't pick me up, but for some reason I thought she could. For some reason I thought I was two, and I thought she could pick me up. I knew I wasn't two, but I was like, okay. I don't even know why. I don't even know why I was thinking that. Um, and eventually, I think she might have picked me up. I remember she told me she did, like a few weeks ago, but I don't know. I was underweight, so she's probably possible because she says she's strong. She is strong because she can pick up beer and she's in her 60s, but I don't know. But she is pretty strong, and that's probably where I got my strength from. Because I'm a little bit stronger than a normal girl, a little bit. Um, and so because I was underweight and I was sick and stuff, and we went back to the house, and I remember being at home for a few days, and I remember leaving because I thought like a few days later I remember I know she was mad I put down the blinds because she took a long time to put those up. I feel bad. I remember throwing her food saver in the trash and I broke it. I didn't know. I remember breaking my DS, the original DS. I broke my Pokemon White game. I had so many Pokemon. I was almost finished with it. I remember throwing stuff away, like my stuff, not anyone else's stuff, besides the throwing in the food saver. My brother got my mom. She didn't even get to use it yet. I just threw it in the trash. I threw a lot of stuff in the trash. I don't even know what else I threw in the trash. I know that's all I remember, but I remember going to hospitals. Oh, I remember now. I remember I was acting weird when I was in my mom's house when I started having these symptoms. I wait. Oh, I remember throwing stuff around and like from the living room stuff, and I threw them outside onto the patio, and I don't. It was a lot of stuff. She eventually took the stuff out and put it back where they were supposed to go. Yeah, and at that time, I think after I put the stuff in the patio, I got my pet bird, which is who I miss really badly. I'm sorry, Nibble. I miss him so much, and that's why I don't. I'm like, if you guys remember, I used to have a cat, and I thought I was just treating him badly, so I took him back. I'm so lonely, but I don't just trust myself anymore. I ain't gonna get another pet, even though I really want one, because I think they'd help me calm down. Um, Now I have a job now and everything, but I don't think I should get another animal. It's probably for the best. I like stuffed animals, but they don't do as much as they used to. They used to give me hope and pleasure, but I'm not going to buy any more stuffed animals anymore. Uh, anyway, when I was there, I got my bird. His name was Nibble, cockatiel, regular gray cockatiel. I took him to the window, which I took off the screen and threw into the patio, and I just let him loose. And I said, "Go, leave, bye, don't come back." And he flew away, and he flew like this way, that way, this way, that way, and away. I feel so terrible. I feel like he's dead. I don't even know. Some people said he's probably fine, but I don't know. It's been so long. And I don't know what else happened. Oh wait, I remember. I don't know if it was days later. It's probably later. Um, we, I no, not we. I started having symptoms again. Um, I remember just I don't even know how it happened. Anyway, I was in the kitchen doing something. Um, I don't know what I was doing. Um, I remember being in the kitchen and I was doing something and I was on the floor. I think I was in pain, probably because of my my period, um, or I was hungry. I don't know. I think I was hungry. Yeah, because my period had stopped for a while at that time, and I wasn't even on T, so I was like 22, and since I was on the weight, that's probably why I didn't have my period for a long time, um, and I was in pain, and I was on the floor or something. I know I was on the floor. I don't know if I was in pain. Um, so I was screaming. I thought, because I had a dream that day or some other time, I don't know, that I was going to grow into a panther, like a black panther. And I remember screaming and everything. My mom was on top of me trying to calm me down and everything. And I was trying to tell her to call me my brother's name. And I was like, call me him, call me so-and-so's name, call me my brother's name, blah, blah, blah. She just kept saying, like, no. Like, she just said, Brandy. And I remember she stroked my face, and then I was like, she was trying to calm me down. I remember she said she called the ambulance. I don't even know when. She probably did. I don't know how she knew. But I don't know when she called, I mean. Anyway. And I remember feeling something on my stomach. And I thought it was a penis. So I got up and left. And then I remember getting into her room. I don't even know how I got into her room. And then I remember she had taken a shower, and I had pushed her off of me, and I saw her naked, and I thought she had big boobs, which was probably what it looked like. It really was. But I thought she had a penis, and I thought she was my dad. And then after that, I was like, oh hell no! So I got up and ran out the house, and I remember taking off my clothes because I had a dream, I don't know when, where if I took off my clothes and ran really fast, I would turn into a guy. And so that's what I did. I ran around and stuff trying to making my boobs go away. Thought my boobs would magically disappear and I'll get a penis and I'll be a guy finally. And I remember running around. I remember when I first started running and I took off, I'm not sure. I think after I left the house, soon after I took off my clothes, started running. And I remember, I don't know if it really happened, but I remember running, and every time I stopped, I was going to write down the day and the year, and not in a marker or anything, like just by finger and by memory. That's all I was going to do, by write down the day, the month, the year, and the time. And that was it. And I was going to stop and say, okay, I did that, that's fine, and I ain't going to do this anymore. But I remember every time I stopped to do it, I remember writing 12, or at least 12 a.m. I think that was the time it was. And I always kept getting tackled, which was weird. Someone kept tackling me to stop me, and I would be scared, and I'd get up and run away. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to start writing 12 a.m., I think 12 a.m. right here, and then I'm going to stop. And every time I stopped to write 12, someone tackled me again. I think it was my mom, but I don't think she would have tackled me. But, I was running around, and I kept trying to do that, and I kept getting tackled. And I remember going to this part of this place, I think in a condominium, where someone had a porch, which none of them does. I don't know. Maybe I ran somewhere when they had it. And I thought if I ran into the porch, I would break through in something. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't do that, but I remember running away from there and running. Then I was where I don't know how I got into the parking area. I got to the parking area, and I remember seeing one of those trailers where they have, like, I put, like, like for, what is it? Like, what are they called? Like those things they have when they put cargo from ships, and they put that little cargo thing, cargo drums or something. I don't know. And I remember going towards it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna climb this thing, jump on top, and I thought I was gonna stop there, but I don't even know how I climbed that thing in about 2 seconds. I climbed to the top of it. I don't know how I did that. I'm still wondering how the hell I did that. I climbed it, jumped on top, and then jumped over to the other condominium on this other side. I don't know how I did that. I don't even know what the fuck I was doing. I was I was trying to become a man, and I was 22 at the time. So yeah, and I uh I kept running. After I jumped down, I kept running, and I remember seeing a pond. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk into this pond and just baptize myself, and then I'll be cured. And as soon as I started walking into the pond, someone tackled me again. I remember fussing around in the water, and I was scared, so I couldn't breathe. I was like, I can't breathe. And I remember just getting out, and I just ran. I don't even know where the hell I was anymore. And I remember running into the street, and I saw cops, and I saw them for like a second. They just stared at me, and I was like, oh fuck. So I just ran to the right, ran. Next thing I know, I'm already next to the condominium I live in, and I run through there. And next thing I know, I ran again somewhere. I ran up the stairs, and like the stairs where the mailbox is when you come in, and I ran, and I remember running somewhere. I don't know where else I ran to, but I remember running down back to the parking lot again, even though I was already in the parking area where the little island is, but I already passed it and stuff. And then next thing I know, I'm captured. I have clothes on, and they're taking me to the hospital. And I was confused, and I wasn't sure what was going on. My mom was worried, and she was talking to the cops or the EMTs. And then I remember I had my middle school tracksuit on. I don't know how the fuck I fit into that. Anyway, then I remember being delirious, and I thought one of the EMT's name was my friend's name, Jay something. I ain't gonna tell you his name. Anyway, I thought it was him, and I kept saying, "Oh, are you so and so? Are you so and so?" And he was like, "No, I don't know who that is." He was probably being truthful, but I was probably delirious. What faces he was making? He looked like he was hating me, like he hated me. And I was told by a friend later that because he had his tag with his name on it and his picture, and I was like, "Oh, is your name so and so?" He said, "No," and then he flipped it over. I'm like, "Why you flip it over?" You're like, "Is that your name?" Like, "No, that's not my name." I'm like, "What's your name?" It doesn't matter. And I didn't know until my friend told me that that's what they're supposed to do, because I don't know, I forget, it's probably legal reasons. Anyway, they took me to a hospital. I was there for I don't remember leaving the hospital. Um, I was in the hospital for a while, and I don't remember anything else really. But I remember going to like 4 different hospitals, but not for very long because they were regular hospitals. Excuse me again. Like regular hospitals, but I think they had a psych ward for mental patients. And I remember being in one hospital. I thought my mom didn't like me anymore. And I remember one nurse who was my nurse. I was the only one in the room. I don't know why. Maybe because they didn't have a real psych ward. And it was probably because it was a regular hospital. I remember eating burgers all the time. I remember I remember drinking tea. And I'll get fruit, and I'll put fruit in the tea. And it'll just stir it a little bit, and then it'll just be sweet enough, and I drink that. Made me feel better, and I just kept eating hamburgers. Anyway, my nurse, I don't know her name. I kept calling her mom, and I don't know why I thought she was gonna be my new mom. I remember she showed me a picture of her kids and her family. I'm like, "Oh, let me be part of your family." Like, "Oh yeah, sure, fine. Call me whatever you want." No, I feel bad. I'm sorry, mom. My real mom, not the nurse. And I felt terrible. And I tried the dance and everything. I don't even remember using the bathroom at that time in the hospital. Maybe they had me in diapers. But I don't. Wait, did I use the bathroom there? I don't remember. Anyway, but But I remember before I was up and awake, I would just be asleep. I would hear people's voices, and I remember feeling wind sometimes. And I remember when I was leaving that hospital, I remember it was like, okay, we're gonna transfer you to this hospital, which was College Hospital somewhere. Um, and they put me on the stretcher, and they were taking me to the where the ambulance is, and I don't know why, but I was really really scared, and there was wind. Where I don't know where this wind is coming from, and because it took them a while to get me to the ambulance spot, because I told them to go slow because I was scared and I felt like I was getting scared because I was up so high. Not really, but the wind was scaring me, and I'm afraid of heights, so I got scared. And I told them, "Can you please go slower?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And so they were going slow, and I was getting really scared because I thought they were going to I thought I was going to die, because I always thought, if you see because I was getting more and more scared, and I don't know if I was talking, but I was getting scared because I thought I was going to go to heaven or whatever. And I remember going to the as soon as we were going really slow, and I was getting so scared, and I remember my doctor tried to give me a pink monkey from Aurora, and I was like, oh, I don't like monkeys or their plushies, but I was gonna keep it, but I thought she was like a pedophile for some reason, so I didn't take it. Anyway, I wish I took it. Anyway, I while we was going to the ambulance, when we got to the door, it was bright white. I couldn't see anything out there. I remember seeing doctors and nurses coming in, just the nurses and doctors, not any stretchers. I just saw white. I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna die. I'm going to heaven or wherever. And then after we got through the door, I'm like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, I remember. I remember going through the door, and I started seeing I started seeing the hospital. I started seeing the ambulance. I'm like, why am I not dead? What the fuck is going on?